Well, welcome, Tech Divas, my Tech Diva tribe, to another episode. And today I am here with Donna Tashjian, and she is a coach, and she's been doing this for a very long time. I would say she's a faith-based coach, and she has been speaking and mentoring to people since 1990. And as you know, the reason we have this show is to open doors to many different people from all kinds of backgrounds to serve women in technology careers. So that means that we'll get people from all walks of life and all different types of coaches and men and women. And so if you're listening to this or know someone, we would love to share even your journey or a couple pieces of wisdom that will help women be successful in technology. So I'm really happy to have Donna with us today. Hey, Donna.
Hello, how are you, Nicole?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
Good.
So what do you think you can tell our tech divas today?
Oh, well, thinking about, like you were talking about fear and everything, it just reminds me sometimes when we're so good at saying that we're okay, and because we have to. We're women, we have to keep going. We have to, and we don't have time. I don't have time to deal with stuff. And a lot of times it's just like when you keep going and you're not taking care of your body, eventually it crashes. And you could get sick or something like that. It's the same thing with our emotions, with things that's happened to us. As a life mastery coach, my passion is to help women live to their fullest potential. And one of the things is that is something that's continually growing and developing as we grow in our careers as women, as mothers, and it's not ever the same. So we can do that so much better when we learn how to process. So the first step is always being honest with ourselves. It's being really, really honest and saying where we are. And the second step is beginning to release and surrender, perhaps forgive. That's such a big thing for transformation. Transformation is a continual process of letting things go. One of my coaches last year at the end of the year said, instead of what are your goals for 2020, is what are you going to let go of? And so as we end this year, that's a great thought, is what do we want to leave behind? And getting support. Sometimes we need more than a good girlfriend who agrees with us.
That's great. And we're at an inflection point for women in technology. Donna, we are already outnumbered, typically around 25% in really highly technical roles where there's only 1 in 4 women. Sometimes you're the only woman in the room. And not only are we facing like the pressure of our careers and the economy and the fast-paced speed of technology in the role of transformation, but during the pandemic, we're having to wear more hats at home, especially for working moms, and we're losing a lot of women in the workforce. So is there any advice from a coaching perspective that you can give to women that are feeling overwhelmed?
One of my things that I always say, it's one of my quotes, is whatever you focus on, you empower. Whatever you magnify is multiplied. And if I think about how overwhelmed I am all the time, it's worse. It doesn't get better. So there's that moment where I need to be really honest with how I'm feeling, but then I determine what's most important today. What's the most important things I need to do at this moment, not necessarily today, but at this moment, and then do that. I may not get everything done today, but I'm going to get what's most important done. And taking it one moment, 1 hour, whatever it is at a time, and take a breath.
I definitely live by 1 day at a time. So that resonates for me. And for the listeners out there, what are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? And I love that when things seem impossible, when you feel overwhelmed, how are you taking care of yourself? A lot of women in tech careers are trying to find their next step, looking for the next step. Sometimes they get asked, well, what do you want to do next? And people don't know. And so I'm wondering, for when you're enjoying your work, you like the
Mhm.
people you work with, you like the job you do, sometimes it seems like a failure when you tell your manager, I'm really happy doing what I'm doing, because there's this expectation that you have the next step figured out. So how do you balance being happy with where you're at in your career today with finding acceleration and forward momentum and success?
Well, it is a misnomer that I can't be grateful for where I am and continually want to grow. And so learning to look and constantly think about where would I like to be in 3 years from now, and then behave as if you are already there. So if you want a manager position, behave as if you're a manager.
In the women that you have seen rise, and some of the greatest women that you've seen who've overcome things, because life is hard, but
Mhm.
ones that you've seen rise and overcome, what is something that you see in common that make some of the greatest women shine that you've coached?
They have a lifestyle of forgiveness. They have a lifestyle of gratitude, and they have a lifestyle of visioning or imagining where they want to go. And the other thing that's part of that imagination is the declarations or affirmations that they say, because self-talk is one of our biggest problems with sabotaging ourselves. Um, we are so used to it, we don't even realize that we're saying it. Um, maybe you've experienced it where I'm so stupid. Look at what I made this stupid mistake, and you're not stupid. You're learning. You're growing. You're not stupid. You're actually pretty brilliant. But you may have made a mistake, and that's a completely different mindset. And so what are we saying about ourselves? So those are probably the four biggest components of women that I have seen overcome incredible things. And it doesn't really matter how incredible it was for somebody else, because your pain is your pain and it's real. The things that you've experienced that have hurt you, we're not comparing. It's just, those are some really powerful tips to grow and blossom.
Yeah, those are great. I will definitely, the affirmations are huge. I try to
Yes.
change out a monthly affirmation on my mirror. We also have a lot of women that start and stop. So maybe they're
Mhm.
coming in to a new career in technology, or maybe they're just uh, done in that discipline. That's very common in technology. Maybe you're doing coding and you want to move into networking, or you're shifting around. So what advice do you have for people that may be coming into something new, or you're turning a new leaf?
Learning to embrace transitions and situations changing as growth, not failures. Even if you were laid off, and you had to change jobs because you were let go for whatever reason, because there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback, and that you're only a failure if we quit.
Grow and learn. And I know that we are going to get more women in technology to help overcome this challenge we have with women leaving. So as we come close to the end of the episode here, did you want to wrap with any small pieces of advice or stories?
One of my clients is they originally came to me with some health issues and they wanted to grow their business. It was a combination of the two. And as we were able to work together, one of the biggest keys for them was how they were talking about themselves, and that they didn't realize. One of the things I said is, well, whose voice is that says you're stupid? And she's like, it was my grandmother's. And learning that sometimes we don't realize these things that we have learned, the way that we cope with things came from something or someone who said something that they shouldn't have, or maybe they meant something different. It really doesn't matter, because it can hurt us. It is learning that what is actually holding us back, and being able to then, once you face it and can look at it, it doesn't have as much power, and learning to do that. And I've created a quiz to be able to help women see if their past is influencing them. And I'd love to share that with the listeners. The website is iVibrantLiving.com. And on the menu bar, you'll see new quiz. You just click on that.
Great. And that will help you discover if there's something in your past that's perhaps a limiting belief or holding you
Yes.
back. And as we part, what other words do you have for us?
One of my favorite quotes that one of my coaches said to me was, proceed as if success is inevitable. If you get up every day, you do what's most important, and you proceed or behave as if success is inevitable, it's only takes 1% more every day to make you completely different place or feel more at peace, whatever your goals are, the next year. So proceed every day as if success is inevitable.
What you're saying again is things that everyone needs to hear, to be reminded that you are great, you are enough, and we're all in this together. So we can take a little lesson from you that was unspoken, which is your kindness and your forgiveness. And that was a big lesson here, forgiving. Great. So if you want more of this and you feel connected to Donna, please reach out to her. And if anything, let's all use this. Take one thing from this. Think about where you're putting your mind that day. What do you focus on? Are you acting as if you have that success? Are you telling yourself things that are not true? And can we flip it to the reverse? If you're telling yourself, I'm so stupid, can you say, I'm smart? But it's so true that, again, what you tell yourself, even if you're just making little comments, kids pick up on that as well. So as we find ourselves maybe trapped with our children at home, if they hear you telling yourself, oh, I'm so dumb, I should have packed this, or I should have taken this, I mean, they're going to start to hear you setting the example for self-talk that could be influencing them. So a little lesson for the women in tech that are mothers there. And obviously we're all getting through this together. So hopefully this has been beneficial. Donna, I greatly thank you for your time, and hope all the tech divas out there stay successful and enjoyed this episode. Thank you.
Thank you.